My current allocation is I'm now more overweight SUI than I am Solana. Those are my two majors. Obviously, I'm on the foundation of SUI, so I know some of this stuff. And building hardware is very hard, but getting a Web3 handset to 10,000 people to start with, getting people to use it is the same as the Solana phone idea.
Yeah.
Before you know it, you're getting airdrops for doing it. You're participating in Web3 gaming, and it starts building an ecosystem. But again, it's all around this same idea that gaming is one of the single largest use cases of the internet. And so we're talking, 1 billion people, 500 million people. These are very, very big cohorts of people that would benefit from Web3. So it's obvious they're going to keep going after this.
Raoul Pal, CEO of Real Vision, says that Bitcoin and other major altcoins are looking strong despite the volatility in the cryptocurrency markets. He claims that Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and SUI are all printing bullish patterns on their higher time frame charts. We remain in the midst of the greatest macro trade of all time. All the wiggles and the timeline FUD, fear, uncertainty, and doubt, are just noise. All you require to capture it is not being too far out on the risk curve, not using leverage, and the ability to have patience and zoom out. Paul says that Bitcoin remains in an uptrend on the weekly chart, where it is consolidating well above the trend line, connecting its previous all-time highs in the $60,000 range. Paul also suggests that Ethereum is trading inside a bullish triangle pattern on the weekly chart and is preparing for a breakout after bouncing off the lower trend line near the $2,600 range. He then shares a weekly chart of Solana that suggests that Solana remains in an uptrend and could be preparing to reclaim the $200 level as support. Finally, he suggests that SUI is on the cusp of repeating a historical pattern of breaking a descending trend line resistance and printing new all-time highs. Bill Barheit, CEO of cryptocurrency services from Abra, is also extremely bullish on Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, and SUI. He believes that U.S. President Donald Trump's economic policies could inject a massive amount of liquidity into the markets, causing crypto assets to skyrocket to astronomical prices. According to Raoul Pal, SUI should be your top holding instead of Solana. Before we move forward, if you want to stay updated with the latest crypto events and news, you can subscribe to our channel and like this video. Now, let's get back to Raoul Pal's view on Solana and the overall crypto market.
The more that's built on top of XRP. So XRP is in an exalted situation because there's a lot of holders. But the activity was, A, under pressure because of under lawsuits.
Yep.
And B, a lot of it was the potential of how much can we use for stuff. And there is a reasonable amount of use of the XRP ledger. But if you're starting to build new applications like DeFi on top, you're only going to build value in Metcalfe's law terms, which is network value. So it can only be a net positive if people start to use it, because there's a lot of users, there's not enough things they can do with their XRP. So we've had some memes on XRP, that was a use case, more DeFi on XRP, more use case. Then you've got something much bigger than the original thing. So, for me, all blockchains about proving yourself and proving network value by building value. And if they can do that, good for them. Well, if the crypto markets and liquidity peak when the business cycle peaks, and we'll use the ISM survey, the Institute of Supply Managers survey, as our proxy for that, we've only just bottomed and we're breaking 50 to the upside. And that's going to take several months or a year or so to get there. So probabilistically speaking, it might push it into 2026. So that's something we'd have to get our heads around, is actually it goes a bit longer than we imagined. So that's what I'm thinking about this cycle. Then we've got to think, okay, is the downside going to be the same? Because we've got new players, we've got ETFs, we've got different stuff. People can put Bitcoin in their 401k. And I would argue we probably have less downside. Bitcoin's downside has been less each cycle. So maybe it's down 50 or down 45 this cycle versus NASDAQ would be down 20, let's say. That would make sense. Now, a whole bunch of everything else will go down 99% or 95%. But what we'll see is the majors going down less than previous cycles. I think that's my most likely outcome.
Alt season, the time when altcoins typically take off after Bitcoin surges, was highly anticipated. But this time, it didn't happen. While Bitcoin surged, Ethereum struggled, and altcoins failed to follow suit. Several factors contribute to this delay. The altcoin market has been hit hard by volatility and scams, which have drained liquidity and damaged investor confidence. Furthermore, Bitcoin dominance remains high, with more than half of the total cryptocurrency market cap locked in Bitcoin. Although altcoins have yet to see a surge, some investors remain optimistic and believe a shift is coming. Paul recently shared his updated portfolio for the remainder of 2025, providing insight into his investment strategy. Raoul Pal's portfolio leans heavily towards major crypto players, with an interesting shift towards SUI as his top pick. Raoul recommends allocating 80 to 90% of the portfolio to major cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin. He estimates that smaller, riskier investments make up only a small portion of his portfolio, 10%, where he hopes to make the next big gain, but admits that the chances of making big returns are slim. Interestingly, he doesn't hold traditional Ethereum for general investment, instead focusing solely on high-end NFT art using Ethereum. A notable shift in Raoul's strategy is his increased focus on SUI over Solana. While he previously favored Solana with a larger portion of his investments, he is now more bullish on SUI, reflecting a growing confidence in its potential to outperform the market in this cycle. His main bet now is SUI with a bit of Solana. He is inverted because it was the other way around. It was 80% Solana and 20% SUI, and now he is turning them around and looking to get even closer to SUI because he believes it is outperforming that cycle. SUI's strong growth in DeFi and Web3 sets it apart in terms of speed and performance. In February, SUI will experience a supply increase with 80 million SUI tokens worth $288 million hitting the market. Doppler Finance recently officially launched as the first decentralized finance protocol for the XRP Ledger ecosystem, signaling a major development for the network. Backed by investments from Ripple Eco Fund and Futureverse, Doppler Finance is positioned to drive the growth of DeFi on XRP. Paul reacted positively to the news, explaining that as more applications like DeFi are built on XRP, the overall value of the network will increase. In an interview with the Paul Barron Network, Paul said that the potential of the XRP ledger is amplified when more use cases are developed, noting that the lack of practical use had previously limited its market impact. Paul said that the more things are built on top of XRP, the more value will be created. He added that as more users start using XRP in different applications, the value of the network will increase, transforming it into something much bigger than its initial purpose. Paul also said XRP is in a very exciting place because there are a lot of holders, but the activity was, under pressure because of the regulation and lawsuits. He explained that the XRP ledger has reasonable utility, but if new applications like DeFi are built on top of it, the value can only increase if people start using it more. The success of Doppler Finance, combined with the recent emergence of XRP stablecoins gaining market share, suggests that the ecosystem is starting to see substantial growth. While DeFi development on XRP is still in its early stages, the potential for increased network exposure and value looks promising, paving the way for future applications and growth.